Hi everybody, and thanks for checking in. We're back. I have a very strange episode here. This is, by the way, this is a bonus episode for June on the Range, the month of June, because I'm filming this in advance, because when you see this, I'm who knows where, in the woods, hiking, or in a boat fishing, or whatever, back and forth all summer. And then, of course, Scotland. So who knows where I am right now. But I filmed this in advance because I really like June on the Range. It's one of the very few, if not it's really the only booktube trend that I really like. Nothing against booktubers. I think that's a really wonderful community, and you should all avail yourselves of the various booktube channels that are out there. I've recommended many of them before, and so be sure to do that if you're interested in the amazing and wonderful world of literature. All right, so this is a month of June. As you all know, Michael Vaughan created that. I'm going to talk about 3 nonfiction Western books that I think are really interesting, rather than talk about any fiction books. I've talked a lot about fiction books, and I think that's great, and that's what the month is about. But I have a couple of really interesting books that I want to talk about for nonfiction, and we're going to start with this one. It's called The Western, and it was written and compiled by Alan Iles, and here's what the book looks like. I'll have a scan of this coming up. Here's Alan Iles in the back. He was born in Wiltshire, England, brought up in South London. He holds a BA and honors degree in geography from the London School of Economics, and blah, blah, blah. Very interesting writer and man. I don't know if he's still with us. So this book dates from, I think this dates from 1975. Yeah, this is 1975. This is the A.S. Barnes American version that was distributed by A.S. Barnes. The book was published in London by the Tantivy Press at 108 New Bond Street in 1975. It's The Western. So what is this book? This is, obviously we have Clint Eastwood on the cover. This is an encyclopedia of short entries on Western figures, both historical figures and Hollywood figures, mostly Hollywood figures. So let's take a look here. I want to show you the contents. The contents, there are 404 entries. Here's the contents page. And these are all individuals from history or film. So, for example, the very first one, alphabetical, is Rodolfo Acosta. Film fans know who I'm talking about. Then we have Gerald Drayson Adams, Julia Adams, the actress. She passed just a few years ago. John Agar, Claude Akins, Marvin H. Albert. He was a writer. So you have writers, you have Hollywood actors, and you have film directors in here. George Armstrong Custer is represented, and all of that. So there are, as I said, there are 404. The last entry is the Youngers. Okay, so there's historical. So let's take a look at some of these. This book is profusely illustrated. So let's take a look at Johnny Mac Brown, for example. I know you can't see it, but Johnny Mac Brown's entry starts right here, and it goes down to here, and then it continues all the way here, and it goes down to here before you get to Yul Brynner. So and what this is primarily a brief biography, one paragraph with a list of films. And, so his Johnny Mac Brown's biography is this section right here, which is really short, and then the rest of it's his films, which were substantial. So it's a reference book. And this is before, I know this really makes me sound old, this is before the internet. This is when you went to a library to do research. This is when you bought books like this for your home research, and they were invaluable because you had for the actors, you had the name of the film, and then you had the year it was released, and so forth and so on. It's very well illustrated, with obviously most of the entries are Hollywood related, and you even have Steve McQueen. Here's a still from Junior Bonner, and all of this. Over 400 of these throughout. Like I said, you have some historical figures, you know, Buffalo Bill and Custer and all of that. Here's some of the photos in this book are rare. I've never seen them before. Here is John Sturgis with Clint Eastwood, you know, on the set of Joe Kidd. And lots of interesting things in here as far as the overall flow of it. And it's, you know, I've kept it all these years. It's today you would just look this up on the internet because, you know, you don't need to worry about it. It's everything is out on the internet. But back then you couldn't do that. So in the 70s we had books like this, and that's why I thought I would highlight these, because this is how it used to be done. I'm really dating myself. I know. It's really a little sickening, isn't it? To say, yeah, we used to do it this way, you know, we used to read books instead of looking at wiki, yeah, whatever, okay. Anyways, it's fun to collect these books still, if you're interested in that. This is a great little reference work, you know, nothing substantial. You've got the actor, the director, the historical figure, and a list of what happened, really. This next one, and this is from the UK, by the way. The Brits have always loved the Western, and my hat's off to them for that. Sometimes I think the Brits have done a better job of handling the Western than most American publishers. Right now, the Black Horse Western brand is no longer, and that's really a shame. But they've always loved them, and so there are a lot of Germans too, and other Europeans that handle the Western. Anyway. Up next, we have another British book, and this is beautiful cover artwork here. A Pictorial History of Westerns by Michael Parkinson and Clyde Javans. And here is this book. I'll have a scan of this. So look at this book. Beautiful artwork. There's Clint on the side, and then look at this. It's a wraparound. I'm gonna scan this for you. So let's take a look at this. Strictly about Hollywood productions. And I don't think that the book ever, this book does not give credit to the cover artist at all. Profusely illustrated with black and white and color photos, and I'm going to show you that because, let me just double check here. No, it does not. It does not give who the artist is on this. I would love to know. So this is a great book, and I have to get to this. So you get these beautiful color photos. Look at this. Right? So there you have Yul Brynner from The Magnificent Seven, and there's a lot of rare photos included in this book. If you see this book on the market anywhere in a used bookstore, you should pick it up because it is well worth your time to read this. And there's a really superb, it's a superb collection of photographs. And I'm looking for another really good one here in color. So here we have, take a look at this. Here's Steve McQueen from Nevada Smith. Isn't that a beautiful photograph? And of course, on the opposite page, you have Gene Autry, of course. Just fantastic stuff. Like I said, a lot of these photographs are rare. I've never seen them before. And it's kind of cool to have it. Everybody's represented. Here's the one I really want to show you too. Look at this. Look at this great photo of Charlton Heston from Will Penny. Great color photo that is found in this book. So they really did their work. It was the John Coble collection is where most of these photographs came from that collection. I believe that's still out there, and you can buy prints from that. At least 10 years ago you could. Tom Mix, the great Tom Mix. Everybody is represented in this Hollywood that you can possibly imagine. And it's broken down into the stars, the directors, the epics. And here's Burt Lancaster from, what was it, that Unforgiven, I believe. And yeah, 1960 Unforgiven. A couple of posters are represented here and there. Here's a William S. Hart. Really nice color reproduction of a William S. Hart. This is a great book. And it has a text, a narrative, which is brief. It's there. But it's really mostly about collecting the the photos and putting them in here. The You know, it's a pictorial book with chapters. So the first chapter is the films, then you have the stars, then you have the stalwarts, and the directors, the spaghetti westerns, the TV westerns, and so forth. So it goes through everything. Here's Butch and Sundance, of course. Let's see if you can get that. So I don't know. This is a book I'm glad that I hung on to because it has so much information. The text for each chapter is okay. It's nothing, it's just a narrative on, what you're looking at. But it's really, because it's a pictorial history, it has just fantastic stills. Very rare. Many of them are very rare, with superb artwork. Who did the cover artwork? It looks like there's a signature on the painting, but I can't read it. Really a great reference book. I have a similar one on horror films. I think I'll show that to you at Halloween. These British books, British film books and histories are really great to get your hands on because they did such a comprehensive job. So there you have two reference works that were widely used in the 1970s, and this one was, I believe this was 72. I'd have to look here. Let's take a look. And it was 1972. So, great reference works. So I just wanted to show those for those of you that are interested in book collecting, you're interested in Western history, especially if you're interested in Western films, which most readers of Westerns are interested in Western films, and you can look for those two books. Great stuff. One more. Okay, so an academic book. This is called The Western Story, Fact, Fiction, and Myth. It was compiled and written by Philip Durham and Everett L. Jones. This is what it looks like. This is also the 1970s. I'm assuming this is long out of print. Harcourt, Brace, and Jovanovich. HBJ, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and Atlanta. And this is 75 again. And this is a collection of stories with academic essays about the West. So you get both hand in hand, and this is great because you get qualified academic researchers commenting on this. The introduction alone is worth the price of the book, in my opinion. And each section has different types of stories. So I'm going to read to you what's in here. So you have part one is called Fact, right? You have selections on the West by Theodore Roosevelt, Douglas Branch, Emerson Howe, Jack Schaefer, who wrote a nonfiction essay called Meanwhile Back at the Ranch, is included here. Donald Jackson, these are the facts. And then part two, we get to the fiction. And we have Bret Harte, Jack London, Owen Wister, Stephen Crane, Clarence Mulford, Zane Grey, Vardis Fisher, Ernest Haycox, Max Brand, John M. Cunningham, Clay Fisher, Luke Short, Alan Bosworth, Thomas Thompson, Donald Hamilton, and Walter von Tilburg Clark. Those are the fictional entries. I'm not going to read all the stories, but those are the authors that have fiction stories in here. And then you have part three is the myth. All right? Frank Norris, Zane Grey, his foreword to a novel he wrote, To the Last Man, is included here, and that's a wonderful little short essay. T.K. Whipple, Alexander Miller, Harry Schein, and Robert Warshaw. So really, if you're interested in doing some academic research on the West, some great selections here in short stories, some essays, and really good material for you to track down if you're interested in the Big Sky Country, the West, Tales of the West. Fantastic material. Ladies and gentlemen, that was all before the internet. So yes, we used to go to libraries or buy the books. If we saw them, whenever you found these, they were usually on the remainder table. And I'm glad I have them, and I have many more. All right, just a quick little bonus video to celebrate June on the Range. And until next time, my friends, stay well, stay happy, feed your brains, read a book.